All right, guys, I have not seen Black Panther yet, and there are a few reasons for this. First of all, I am all superheroed out at the moment. I was never really into superhero movies in the first place. When I was a kid, there were a bunch of mediocre Superman and Batman movies that came out. Then finally, when I got to high school, Spider-Man came out. That was a good one. Then a few years later, The Dark Knight came out. I was into them for a little while, but so many superhero movies have come out since then that I've just kind of grown tired of them. In fact, the last movie I've seen in theaters from the superhero genre was Deadpool, and the only reason I saw that one was because he was the anti-hero. He's supposed to be different from everyone else. But the movie itself, not as good as everyone said it was. I love sarcasm as much as the next guy, but really, they completely overdid it. In fact, one of my first posts on this website, like 12 years ago, was titled Limit 3 Sarcastic Retorts, because sarcasm, like anything else comedic, works best when you can't see it coming. When you have a movie like Deadpool where they just cannot shut up and try to cram in as many sarcastic jokes as they can, it doesn't work. So it was all right, but after that, I've just given up on seeing superhero movies entirely. Same with anime. There have been a whole bunch of hero-related anime coming out recently. At the moment, I'm watching the incredibly average, I guess, Boku no Hero Academia. Tiger and Bunny, I saw one episode of that recently, and it looks like it might actually be good, but I'm just not interested in investing myself in it right now. Perhaps at a later date, I'll check it out again. But yeah, I've just had enough of superheroes at the moment. And the next reason, the one I really wanted to talk today about, is how reviewers have completely dropped the ball when it comes to reviewing superhero movies, or any other movie for that matter, that contains social justice, or at least seems to be built for the purpose of social justice. So a few years back, as an English teacher in Japan, I was developing a quiz for elementary school students with some other teachers, and one teacher came up with this question. This movie is about a girl who fights a bear. So I've never seen this movie. I had no guess what it was, but I thought, hey, this sounds pretty cool, right? A girl fights a bear. Why have I not heard about this before? And the answer, much to my surprise, was Brave. I had no idea that's what happens. Everything previously I knew about Brave, and I was interested in Brave at the time, even though I'd never seen it. I like Pixar. My roommate back in college, he was a huge 3D art guy, CGI guy. He was always talking about Pixar movies, so I was interested in seeing Brave, but at that time, reviews were still fairly honest. Brave got good but not great reviews, and I figured it probably wouldn't be worth my time. But here's the interesting thing. Everything I'd heard about Brave was just that it's about a girl. It's about a girl who is not sexualized. Finally, we're getting the female hero we all deserve. That's all I heard about it. Why had I not heard that this movie was about a girl who fights a bear? And this is where I started to notice that reviewers were completely getting sidetracked. They valued these social justice concepts over the usual things like plot, characters, production values, and all the things that typically were considered to be important in a story. So finally, I ended up watching Brave as an in-flight movie. It was perfectly fine, but just not a great movie. Just good. Then I noticed this again with Star Wars Episode 7, the first movie of the new trilogy. This comes out and it gets Rotten Tomato reviews as good as, or if not better than, the original trilogy. And I'm thinking, geez, this movie has got to be really good, right? Then I watch it. It's good, not great, certainly not measuring up to the original trilogy, though better than the trilogy from the 2000s. And here I'm thinking, why? Why couldn't reviewers just be honest with us? And it's because they don't want to be. They just want to talk about how this movie has a chick as the lead, and there's a black guy, and the next movie there's an Asian girl. And why are they doing this? Why can't they just say, this movie doesn't have the same plot as before. It has some social justice crap in it, but that's not really important. It's just a sideshow, right? But that is the state of the movie industry. Social justice inflates review values. So I cannot trust a movie like Black Panther. When it comes out and gets all these great reviews and makes a lot of money at the box office, I have to think, well, maybe it's only getting this attention because there's a black lead. And I'm not going to watch a movie just because of that, right? And there's the Brave effect also. What do I know about Black Panther except that he's black? and it takes place in like a futuristic Africa, like that is literally all I know about this movie. Maybe if the movie were actually good, people would be talking about what his power is, or who the enemies are, or what actually happens in the movies. Now, for all I know, it is actually good, and this is why I'm actually making a video. I want to ask you, is this movie actually good? Should I trust the reviews here? You tell me. Please leave me some comments. Let me know if this movie is worth watching. And I suspect I will watch it at some point. It's just a matter of whether it's worth the $15 at the movie theater or a few bucks to rent the DVD. Yeah, they still have rental shops in Japan. Or whether I should watch it on Netflix or Hulu when that comes out. Or whether I should even just leave it for in-flight entertainment, because surely I will get the chance next time I go back to America or fly back to Japan.